Ever wondered about the darkest methods of torture in history? Here are the top 10 most horrible torture techniques and devices. Number 10. The Brazen Bull. Designed in ancient Greece, the Brazen Bull was a solid brass statue with a door on the side. Victims were placed inside and a fire was set underneath. As the metal heated, the victim was roasted alive. Their screams were amplified to sound like a bull's bellowing. Horrifying, right? Number 9. The Tub. In this medieval torture, the victim was placed in a wooden tub with only their head sticking out. Their face was painted with milk and honey, attracting flies. As they were fed regularly, they'd end up swimming in their excrement. Maggots and worms would eventually consume their decaying body. Truly revolting. Number 8. Impalement. Favored by Vlad the Impaler, victims were forced to sit on a sharp pole. As the pole was raised upright, the victim would slide down, impaling themselves slowly. It could take days to die this way. Vlad once did this to 20,000 people while enjoying a meal. Number 7. The Iron Maiden. This device was an iron cabinet with spikes on the inside. Victims were enclosed within, unable to move as the spikes impaled them from all directions. The agony was immense and inescapable. Number 6. The rack. Used in medieval times, the rack was designed to dislocate every joint in the victim's body. The victim was tied to a wooden frame, and as the handle was turned, their limbs were stretched until they were torn from their bodies. Excruciatingly painful. Number 5. The Judas Cradle. This device involved placing the victim on a pyramid-shaped seat. They were slowly lowered onto it, stretching their orifice over time and impaling them. The victim was usually naked, and the device was rarely cleaned, leading to deadly infections. Number 4. The Chair of Torture. Also known as the Judas chair, it was covered in spikes and used until the 1800s. Victims were strapped to the chair, and the spikes would penetrate their body. Sometimes heating elements were placed beneath the seat for added pain. Number 3. Rat torture. A cage with one open side was strapped against the victim's body. Large rats were placed inside, and a heating element was used to create intense heat. The rats, driven by instinct, would burrow through the victim's flesh to escape. Absolutely terrifying. Number 2. Saw torture. Victims were hung upside down so blood would rush to their heads, keeping them conscious. The torturer would then saw through their bodies, usually starting from the groin and moving down. Most victims were only sawed up to their abdomen to prolong their suffering. Number 1. Hang, drawn, and quartered. The penalty for high treason in medieval England was to be hanged, drawn, and quartered. Victims were hanged until near death, then disemboweled and castrated, with their entrails and genitals burned before their eyes. Finally, they were beheaded, and their bodies divided into 4 parts. This was one of the most brutal execution methods in history. Which technique horrified you the most? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, follow, and share for more dark historical facts. See you next time.